Hello and welcome to my channel, and today we'll be talking about all the books I read in June. So first off, we have Explorer Academy #2, The Falcon's Feather. This was an amazing book. If you grew up reading National Geographic books, this is by the same company, and it's got all the things, the beautiful graphics, and all the science and nature stuff you loved about those books, but in a fictional format. Definitely lots of cool tech. Um, it's amazing. This book left us on quite the cliffhanger. I have the third book and we'll be reading it soon. What I loved about this book is they started giving us the perspective of the villains, which in this book is the Nebula pharmaceutical company. And we don't, like, they're all using code names, so we don't know who anyone is, but it's crazy. Definitely left me wanting more, and overall I would rate this a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read, it was a library book, so I do not have a copy of it to show you, but it was Animorphs #6, the Capture. The first half was a little repetitive with other books. The second half was amazing. And it had a great twist. And the ending was good. But still, overall, I would really only give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is probably the lowest score I've given to an Animorphs book so far. But don't worry, because #7 made up for it. But we'll get to that. The third book I read was Thea Stilton and the Frozen Fiasco. And if you follow my channel, there is a review up on this book. So I'm not going to say too much about it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely kind of cozy mystery vibes for young readers. Really cool, kind of like, well, even though it's a very different book, kind of like the Explorer Academy, it's a very beautiful book, lots of text features and pictures. Highly recommend this series and the Geronimo Stilton series, which I'm going to do a video just about the Geronimo Stilton series because I've been doing a lot of audiobooks of the Geronimo Stiltons recently. So, yeah. And then the next book, which I also do not have physically in front of me because, again, it was a library book, is The Stranger, which was crazy and amazing in all the best ways. Like, it kept you guessing from page 1 to page, can't remember how long it was. Amazing. And I definitely made me like, okay, I have to read more of the series because I need to know what's going on there. And it was definitely talking about how this whole ordeal has affected everyone, which felt really realistic because, like having to save the world from aliens, of course it's going to take a toll on you. And I think that was really good of K.A. Applegate to talk about in the book. It really had a good theme in there of not to give up and you have control of the future. For better and for worse, honestly, in the real world. But it was really crazy and really good, and I highly recommend the Animorphs book to anyone who hasn't gotten the pleasure of checking them out yet. And I will be reading #8 next month. I've already picked it up from the library. And #8 is called The Alien, and it actually is from the alien in the book. I don't want to butcher the name, but the Adelaide that's in the previous 2 books, it's from his perspective, and I'm very excited to hear how his take on what's going on. Then the fifth book I read in June was, forgot to say, Animorph number 7 was 100% a 5+ out of 5 stars. Anyways, this was Hardy Boys Case Files 18, A Killing in the Market. This one was not my favorite Hardy Boys book. It was an interesting premise, but there were parts of it where I was like, I don't know why we needed this, and it was a little dragged on a little bit. And I was like, what is going on here? But it was pretty good and exciting, minus 1 or 2 parts. I would still recommend it, especially if you love Hardy Boys. But overall, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, which is low for any Hardy Boys book, for me. Next, I read an amazing book. It's definitely a Christian book, so I definitely don't shy away from those. I have another Christian book in my pile that I read this month. You might not be surprised what it is, but this one is, let me get it a little closer, you can see it, it's a cool cover and cool book. So this was Land and Snow Book 1. I'm going to just say Book 1 because I've seen different editions with different names. Super powerful, well thought out themes, amazingly described, one of the wildest journeys I've been on in a book. Super amazing, gives a great biblical lesson and with biblical themes while keeping you entertained on the edge of your seat. One of those books that just all comes together in the end. It's definitely a weird one. Definitely a lot of Alice in Wonderland vibes for this one. Like, you're like, what is happening? But it all comes together in the end, and it is amazing and powerful. I have the second book, which I will hopefully be able to read soon, and highly, highly recommend this one to anyone who wants a great, fun book that has a powerful message without you just sitting there like, this is the message every 5 minutes. Highly recommend. Oh, and in case you were wondering, let me not forget to keep the rating. 100% a 5+ star book. This is probably so far this year the month with the most 5+ star books. This is The Collector, another 5+ star book. It was definitely a bittersweet but satisfying ending. Like, it's not sunshines and rainbows. This is, it's really good. The lore in this was very, very fascinating. Especially for a short book. The characters, again, really, for a short book, very fleshed out. I did read this pretty much in one day, which is the case with a lot of the books this month. And this was one of those books where you're reading it and you're like telling yourself one more chapter, and that's a lie because you read like 6 more. Definitely scary, spookier, definitely for a little bit older of kids. But I highly recommend. What is this? The eighth book I read this month was Hardy Boys 61, The Pentagon Spy. A lot of twists. And I was saying for most of this book, this was going to be like a 3 or 4 star book. It just depended on the ending. And when everything came together with the 2 unrelated crimes and how they came together and the ending and who done it, it's a 5-star book. for sure. And, like, you didn't know what the solution or who the villain was until, like, they told you. Because there was no way you could have guessed that. Not that it came out of left field, because, you know, I don't like when they do that. But it was like, what is happening? Who did this? And it all comes together. And the 9th and final book I read this month, which I also have done a video on and an unboxing on, is Parable Ports number 2, The Captain's Clue. Amazing. Like, there were characters I fell in love with. The villains were even very entertaining villains. Some of the new characters were hilarious. There were parts where it was intense. There was parts where it was funny. Highly recommend. Again, this is a religion-based book, but definitely pick it up. And if you haven't read the first one, you need to pick up that one first, because that kind of sets the stage for this one. So, I think with all these great books this month, everyone's question is, well, what is your book of the month? And this month, it's too difficult to decide. So I'm going to have dueling books of the month. So the first one is going to be Land and Snow, book 1. And the second one, of course, no surprises here, is going to be Parable Ports. Because I could not decide between these two books, because these books have the greatest messages. They were the funnest to read, and I love them both. So there will be no choosing between them this month, because it's my channel and I make the rules. Well, thanks everyone for checking out my video today. Please tell me what you read this June in the comments, and what you're planning to read soon, and maybe even what your book of the month June was. But thank you all for coming to my channel. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.